Okay, I just want to quickly cover how to save images for web and also for print. Very quickly, just if you're cropping an image or saving it for printing later on, then you can use the crop tool and select some of the presets here and choose which size you want. So let's say you want an 8x10 inch at 300 ppi, which is great for printing. You select that one, and then up here, if you look, we've got the width at 8 and the height at 10, so that's the default. But because we've got a landscape image, we need it the other way around. We need a width of 10 and an 8 inch height, so we just use that tool there to flip it from one to the other. And then once you've selected, just go over the crop over the image, and it will give you the perfect dimensions for a 10x8 print. And so we just get it to where we want, double click, and it will reduce the file size and also crop it to exactly the right size that you need. So that's just a way of cropping the image, which is fairly straightforward. But for saving for web, that's a different matter. So let's go into that. If I was to go straight in to save for web, it wouldn't work, because if we look here, the image size is 5616 by 3744 pixels. That's an uncompressed size of 60 megabytes, so it's quite a huge file size. And if I was to use save for web straight away by going into file, save for web and devices, it's going to tell me that it exceeds the size that save for web was designed for, so it's going to slow down your computer and it won't really work that well. So what we do first is actually go to image size, and then let's say you have a web page that's 800 pixels wide and you want the image to be 650. We choose that size first, so we go to 650 pixels, press OK, and then Control-Alt-0, and that will give you the size of the image, how it will look on the web. That's 100% how big the photo will look, and you see already it's quite sharp. But we have still to save it for web, to optimize it for web use. So if we now go to save for web, file, save for web and devices, it brings up the dialog box. Now there's various things you can change here. You can change whether it's a JPEG GIF or a PNG or a PNG file. I'm going to save it as a JPEG for now. Leave everything pretty much as default, but all I would change is the quality. Now a couple of things to bear in mind here is you really want to keep the image file below a kind of 100 kilobytes. That will be make a faster loading web page. So if we adjust the quality, if I go right up to 100, you can see I've got 238 kilobyte file size. That's going to take too long to load on most websites. If I bring the quality down to, say, let's go right down to 10, we've got a very small JPEG size. And if I actually want to see how that's going to look, you can see already it's changed on the screen. But you can also hit the preview button here, and it will open up the image in a web browser to show you what it will look like, and that looks pretty poor. So we don't want that. It'll even give you all the HTML code to load it up, but that's not good. We don't like that. So what we need is somewhere in between. So if I take the quality up to about 70, that's giving me an 86 kilobyte. Let's go a little bit higher. Let's go to 75. Okay, that's around 100 kilobytes, which is pretty good. And you can see the image is still very good quality. And if I hit the preview button, so it's loaded into the Internet Explorer browser, you can see it's still very, very sharp, no jaggies, no pixelated images, and it's very good. So that pretty much is an optimized image for the web, and that's how I would do it. So we've got JPEG, high quality, 75%. We've got the image size, so we know it's going to fit on the web page okay. Then you literally just click save and save it as whatever file name you need. But obviously don't save over the original. But I hope that helps on saving for web. If you've got any questions, just go into the forums and ask.